Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for watching, thanks for tuning in. If you have not hit that subscribe button yet, please hit that subscribe button. If you like the video, like the content, please hit that thumbs up. You just saw the last video of me getting the new motor built, finished building and getting it to the dyno. So, which leads to this video. This video, we're putting it in the car. So we got to take the old motor out, put the new motor in. So let's get into it. Well, like I said, this video we're going to be pulling the old motor out, putting the new motor back in. So we're going to get onto it. There's lots of stuff to disconnect. Not a whole bunch, but enough. So take the carburetor off, pull all the fuel lines off. You know, the standard drill. Pull, transmission, get it loose. So not going to show all that. I will probably show certain stages of it, but pretty much everybody knows what's involved in getting this out. So we got to take the front end off. That'll make it a lot easier to do. So we're going to get into it and I'll be back. Okay, so here we are. I got all the easy stuff. I got all the fuel lines. I got the radiator disconnected, alternator's disconnected. I still got to do the starter for the last easy thing. And then basically the hard parts, I tried to take the header off and of course it won't come out, so I got to lift it out with the motor, so I just leaving the other side hooked up. Sorry about the light, guys. I don't have any lights in the shop. I know I'm going to probably catch some crap for that, but I've got to do what I got to do, and I'm normally not out here at night. So like I said, we got to take the front motor plate, transmission loose. I'm working on that now, and then hopefully this thing will come right out. So I'll be back when we get it hanging. Okay, we are back. The motor is successfully out. Luckily I didn't have any bolts give me too much of a trouble. It did take me a minute to figure out how to get the headers out with the motor. I ended up having to drop them out the bottom of the car. So I did have to take that other header out. But motor's out. Now we just got to clean up all the frame and chassis and get it all looking nice and neat. But old motor is out. So, and then new motor sitting there ready to go. So we'll be back. And just one more thing before I get done tonight is I got rid of all the nitrous stuff. So the tank, the pump, all the electrical. So here we are. So tank, pump, all the nitrous stuff is now removed. So no more nitrous. Alright, so what we got next is clean up all the framework, get it repainted, and get ready for the new motor to get dropped in tomorrow. So we'll see you then. Alright, so I am basically ready to paint the front chassis. I got everything taped off. I got everything sanded down. I got some corrosion inhibitor on some of the worst spots, but I'll let that dry off for a little bit and then come back out here and get this thing sprayed so I can get the motor back in. I also got the motor plate and water pump mounted on the front of the new motor. So I'm going to let the RTV dry a little bit and then come back out here and torque it all down. And this thing is about ready to go back in. Okay, so as you can see, everything's painted. Looks a lot better. I got my header staged for the motor to go back in. So I got to put them up through the bottom of the car because they won't go down past everything. So that's all set. I wiped everything down in the transmission, got some numbers off of it, see if I can find out what transmission's in it as far as gearing. But yeah, as far as the chassis goes, it's ready to go back in. So stay tuned. So I also torqued up the bolts on the motor plate and water pump. I put my pulley on down here. I had to trim the washers that I've got in between there. I also put the filler neck on. So that's done. And I took it off the engine stand and got the flywheel put on. So I'm pretty sure I'm at the point of dropping this motor into the car. And so that's what we're going to do next. All right, so you can see the motor is in. So the front motor plate is in and torqued. The transmission bolts are in, snug for now. I've got this header just kind of sitting on there for now just to make sure that I could get it in there. It was not easy or fun for that matter. So I still have to hook up this header, but I'm going to leave it off because it makes it easier to get everything hooked up to the starter. And I still have to hook up the torque converter underneath. So, and then of course the carburetor and all the fuel lines and all that stuff. So, but she's in for now, and I will be back when we've got it all buttoned up and getting ready to fire this thing up. All right, so side note, the things that perplex mechanics of any kind. So you see this little bracket right here? I can get my hand in it. On the starter. So it's got a little itty bitty bolt, tiny microscopic bolt. It holds this wire. I took it off the old motor, screwed the screw back in it before I took the motor out. So I took the old motor out. I took the starter off the motor. I cleaned the starter, and then I put the starter back on this new motor. That bolt right here jumped out of this outlet without my knowing about it. No idea where it went. Okay? Well, I searched for it for, I don't know, an hour last night. Couldn't find it. Okay? There's the old motor. I literally took it out. Let's back up. I took the starter out right here. I placed the starter right there. I cleaned the starter right there. I walked over here and I put the starter on. So for an hour last night, I looked for the screw. Where did I find it? There it is, right here. There's the screw, microscopic. Where did I find it? Laying over here. No idea how it got there. I screwed it all the way in. No idea how it came out. No idea how it ended up way over there. But I found it after about 2 hours of searching. So when all the memes say you spend all day looking for the part you just set down, I didn't even set this down. I set the starter down, and this just fell out when it was screwed all the way in. Moral of the story, 2 hours later, 2 hours of lost time working on the motor, I found it. So now I can finish up installing the starter. So just wanted to let y'all know what we do. All right, so here we are about a week later, Sunday, the Sunday after. As you can see, got the radiator back in, got the water pump, everything hooked up, got the alternator on and hooked up, headers are on and hooked up, my carburetor is on and ready to go. So the only thing I am missing, unfortunately, is the fitting that goes in there. It is obviously a different size than the other carburetor, so I got to work on that. But for all intents and purposes, the motor is in and ready to fire once I get those fittings, because I thought they were the same and they're different. And then I can hook up the fuel and put some fire to this thing and see if she starts. But it's in. It's all hooked up. So I'll order those parts. Once they come in, we'll get them installed on the motor and we'll test fire this thing and get her all idled up and be ready to go test. So be back then. Alright, so last time I forgot, I made these radiator hoses go from the back of the motor to the front of the motor to help with cooling. I got in the radiator hoses, so I got those installed. I got the new cap, got it installed. Got the fuel fittings, got those installed, tightened down. Got the carburetor hooked up and got it full of fluid. So this thing is pretty much ready to start for the first time. I just have to make my spark plug socket that'll fit in there so I can tighten up my spark plugs, and then I can crank this thing up and set the timing and go from there. But she's pretty much ready to go, all but the socket, so stay tuned. So I just wanted to add that this is my modified spark plug socket. I gotta drill out this hole because it won't fit over the spark plug now, but just so you can see where I had to get is around this header. Well, it did fit a minute. There you go. So it fits. It just won't fit over the spark plug now. So I got to drill out. I got to drill out that hole so I can get it to fit. But that's what I had to do to get to my spark plugs, or to get around the center two header tubes. So let's cut down on that end to barely go over the nut, and then I had this end bored out by a local machine shop to go over the ceramic of the plug, and the plug comes out, you know, about 1/4 inch, 3/8 of an inch off the other end. But this fits in there. I can put a wrench on the back side and now get to my sockets without cutting or taking my headers off. So this is my new spark plug socket I got. All right, so I got the plug or the socket modified just enough to catch a thread or two, and I got the spark plugs in. It's the middle two down here behind those headers. So everything's hooked up. I fired up the car. She starts right up. Got the idle set, got the timing figured out, and got it set. So now I just have to get a good run on it, go through, do all my leak checks, make sure nothing's leaking and everything's good to go. But she's in and she is ready to go do some testing. So that'll be next on the list. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. If you have not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. If you like the video, please hit the thumbs up. And we will see you next time. Thanks for watching.